Alright, keep going, guys. Back here, back with one quick one. Have you seen that? Uh... Hi-Res just had this talk to a show. Haha, talk to, get it? It's a joke. But this episode 4, and we're gonna look at this. So, yeah, this is pretty exciting. This is raw, but I'll show this. So, this is Herc. This is how Herc is gonna look, right? Not, it's not final product, as I've said. If you watch this, it's not final. This is just like mapping towards to bring it in and adjust it later. Uh, this is raw. I fucking think it looks sick. What I don't like, but again, it's not final product. I don't hope it's his walking type of whack. Raw floats, right? He flies. But I do like these, the face. I like, the staff. I like
Massive
this
improvement.
thing in the back. These looks, this model looks sick. Like it's an improved raw, which is what we're looking for when we go into Smite 2. You know what I'm saying? So, I know these videos, like reaction video, have to be constructive. So I have to put an actual input into them, and I just fucking listen to them and upload this shit. Cause should be, you know, that doesn't work like that. I know. I've seen them XQC shit where he just leaves the computer with a video. I talked about it. With a video just playing in the background while it goes somewhere. That's yeah, that's not how you do it. But so I'm gonna play it from here and let him talk about this. And I'm gonna put some constructive input. My constructive input so far, it's I like the changes. What I don't like about Hercules, he explains in this video, is that the hands and the head look kind of out of proportion. Like you see how small his head is. So what this dev said is they can't change the proportion of the eyes, nose, and mouth, right? But they can make the head bigger. So what would happen if they make the head bigger? Then the eyes would be out of proportion, right? So the reason why the head looks so funky is because of the hair. But yet again, this is not a final product, so they're gonna change it. Um, they're gonna change it, but you know, and Hercules is not gonna play the same way as when Smite will. But this is to change, right? It's not a final product. Constructive criticism. I think it looks good. Okay, can really complain. It's not really a complaint say that the head is small when they can't really just. If they make the head bigger, then everything on the face looks fucked up. So far, this is good. They say that both the club has some noise to it. I don't know if they mean by the gold or the roughness on the spikies. Although it should be rough because it's made out of fucking, I don't know, stone, whatever. Um, but I think it looks great. Uh, I like raw. You know, I'm a raw snipe kind of guy. Sit across the map, pussy behind a wall, and bonk. It's really fun.
Get these really big changes that are like massive improvements. They're from these characters that existed like forever ago,
Yeah.
like the really early days. So Ra was one that like we know people love Ra. Ra is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, a lot of
So we
people
wanted
like
to make
raw.
sure that we gave him like when we do these edits, we kind of have like a budget of time that we get to work with, right? So like some characters that are like more of the modern characters don't get like they just look great. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to really put that budget towards them. So that's where we start carving out like more time for these older guys. So he got a lot more time than most of the other ones. This update's one of the more prominent updates. It's not like Anher level, but it's like probably the next level of like what we would treat like he's not critical, but he's definitely was high on the list for updates. So
Absolutely.
I think we tried to stay true to the original, right?
Yep.
But we try to like just make him look more impressive. Like there's things like the headdress it's reminiscent of the old one, but it's like totally different at the same time. And we also didn't want it to come off like I don't know, too over the top, but also not underwhelming either. So this is kind of like the update we have here. And yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's so sick. I love the incorporations of the blue hits in this
Yeah,
version.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Who remembers the probably a lot of people remember, but the skins from Smite 1 where they change color. Like I know Ra has one, Anisha has one, Shibalanka has one. Uh, dude, those are gonna be fucking sick as hell when they come to Smite 2. because of the way lighting works and how it reflects off walls and how bright it is. Ah, it's gonna be sick. And the Ra's gonna have sick one. You know, through the wall, sniper, bam. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You'll notice like to the comments about updates, like on the back of his tabard, there's kind of like this like white gray kind of cloth. That's gonna be swapped out for either like a darker red or a blue. So like there'll be even more of those little blue pops.
Yeah, I think this update really makes him feel a lot more like he belongs with the rest of the Egyptian cast. Like
Yeah.
he set with after her update, or the Horison set, newer models, right? It doesn't, it's not like the old Solar Sentinel Ra. It feels much more modern Smite.
Yeah.
So
there's a little more seriousness that we did with these two, because like the old Ra, like while he looks similar, like he's like again he's from the era where it was a little more.
This is pretty cool. Hold on. Smite Beta Raw. Is this? Nah, this is not a. This is not how Raw started, is it? It's so hard, bro. Just give me an in-game. Maybe it is so. But I need like a better picture, right? So. Look how goofy it looks, bro. This is the old Raw. Yeah, this is wait, there's a button in yeah, there you go. Look how goofy it looked. Look at the fucking UI too. And we went from this to this, It's it's pretty dope. Can I well now this doesn't work if I yeah? Yeah. It looks like a fucking cause this is engine Unreal Engine 3, right? So they didn't have pre-models, so they have to draw this by hand, so that was like a bird, because you see the beak is way overdone, and but this is so great. You can see that from Smite 1 to Smite 2. You can see the
Stylized and
difference.
more whimsical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
more badass.
And I did see chat saying, "Oh, does he walk now?" No, and people are responding in chat. I see Travis is watching. Hi, Travis.
Yo, what up, Travis?
But he is he's still gonna float. This is just kind of a default T pose. Yeah.
So okay, so when we make models, you make them in a this is an A pose, but it's basically a T pose, because like you just want to have a character in a neutral pose, because then
So you can see like the whole the arms here under instead of having them on the
you put a skeleton system, we call it rigging, and you just kind of like, then those are the bones that allow an animator to move the character, right? So whenever we make a character, and anytime I'll probably show something, the character team works in this format. They don't work in a pose.
Yeah.
So he'll come to life. He's gonna have the same animation vibe as the original. Like a lot of these things, we try to respect the same vibe of what was in Smite 1. So like he comes in with mostly the same animations as a starting point, and then we just noodle from there.
Yep. All right, our next one is it's a little bit more early state than the first two that we've shown, but I know Ben has been working a lot on this one. We've been talking a lot about it internally as well.
I'm excited.
But we've got
Poseidon. That was a nice timing to pause, dude. He looks sick. I mean, okay, this is not the end product, and this is just a model made in render or blender, what the fucking call it. But I like it.
Poseidon up, and I'm going to move our cameras here so you can see the full thing. The big thing to call out we wanted to talk about was the beard, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we've publicly said that Poseidon is a
Dude, with the animation floatings, she's gonna be
officially
so
coming to Smite
fantastic.
2 as part of the first
Gonna-
50 yet, but
It's gonna look so fabulous.
Surprise.
confirmed. Poseidon is going to be part of the first 50. He is
I
a
wonder, can somebody respond to me when this is released? I don't know, probably say
Iconic Smite character, you know, great mage, somebody that we really need in the game, I think, to get the balance of play styles. But I think one of the big questions was like, how do we update the looks of Poseidon for Smite 2? So
right. So
Chad is saying he's hot, so you're on the right track.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So a lot of it is like we don't. When you see his full body, there's going to be like some of the cloth that he has could just is a little more ornate. We don't want to go too different from the character. So like what is his natural look is in Smite 2, we're going to stay pretty on target with that, and then we're just going to kind of like dress up some of like the cloth areas. But for his face specifically, there's like a whole thing where like the presentation is to me has I've been wanting to make it better.
Oh my god, I'm gonna add Sobek in the first 50, gonna pluck motherfuckers. I love Sobek.
I think like when you see the beard in pose and stuff, it just didn't land the way that I was hoping we could. I mean, he's an older god, you know, it's like one of those ones where you just kind of gotta, you know, work with what you got. But that was where I really want us to focus with. Here is like his face and the whole beard presentation and all that.
So then I have a player model. I'm interested in a player model. So
Okay.
Don't want to spoil my
don't wanna spoil your slack.
my private stuff, you know.
So this is like
And
second
drum roll,
And-
chat.
Hey,
there we go.
There we go.
And I'm gonna hide our cameras here. So, chat, what do y'all think about this version of Poseidon?
Yes.
I don't like
So short beard. I think it makes
It's hard surface. You can choose
I
zebra.
like the full beard because, you know, Poseidon. That doesn't really. I don't know. I like the beard. I'm excited about this though, because they don't show a player model. Probably will talk about some in-game shit, but I want to see Sobek.
What do we have next?
Let's take a look. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
it's
Oh,
Sobek,
Sobek.
and
Okay.
he is looking sick.
So this dude, man, like
FLORIDAGATOR
I like
is
Sobek
back.
a lot. He's like alligator dudes. Alligator's cool. I like Killer Croc from I like comics. I'm like a super comic nerd. So like I was like, we gotta make this guy look cool. And so like I've been on Smite for a long time, and again we had that era that was like the more whimsical, right? And so like we got locked into these proportions with Sobek that were kind of. I'll use the word charming. That's the word I'll use. Like I have another word that's not as nice, but like charming is what I'll say. So he's got this like little kind of like body, but he's this alligator, and I always it's comical, but like at the end of the day when we transition to
You fucking alligator. You know, he really should have bigger arms and bigger legs though.
more of the more serious kind of look for the game, he just kind of always stood out, right? And for me, like as a player, I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to play as this lollipop guild version of.
The only reason they say it's more serious is because Unreal Engine 5, Unreal Engine 5, instead of having more of a creator design, it's went in the way of looking more realistic type shit. So any game uses it. This like Smite 1 doesn't have this creator design into it, right? It's okay. So how I'm explaining is it's not like you can look at it and say, well, this could have been made by AI, you know. I don't know. Yeah, because when you look at Smite 2's environment, you can kind of look like it's made with a fucking prompt. But that is just Unreal Engine 5. That's how just technology evolves. It's evolving, but backwards, unfortunately.
Of Sobek, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it always felt weird to me, right? So, anyways, as we were kind of, how do we make Sobek better? There's key ones that I've been like, I mentioned there was like critical ones and the kind of nice to have updates like the raw, but this guy was a critical for me. I'm like, if he looks cooler and he plays cooler and he just feels like a giant alligator man and it hasn't, and he's like a tank, right? So it's like he should be menacing and feel bigger, like right. So like I felt all that felt right, and it would be like if I'm a player that's like on the fence to play Sobek based on visuals, I want to like put you into a place where you want to play the character, not like you're just looking at him like what is wrong with this guy, you know what I mean? So he was probably besides Anher, him and Anher were like my top two contenders for must-have updates. And so yeah, so basically we
Go ahead, spit it out.
changed him a good bit, but we're making sure the camera and like the animations where he's like hunched over are as close as possible to the old ones. But he is going to be a little bit bigger. But Yeah, this is one that I've been wanting for a long time, and I literally was like, I will quit my job if you do not let me do this, right? Like this, I gotta give me one, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's the same armor, same vibe as the old one, just a little bit like, I don't know,
The
more
gameplay,
cooler
though.
looking.
Yeah.
you know?
It just looks like, and Ben, we can go through some of these screenshots here, but
Yeah.
we've got like the Smite 1 versus Smite 2
Yes.
comparison for
Yeah,
sure.
I will just give you the
should've had
the
that
props
for
from
Raw.
chat. Apparently, Tail Lover is watching,
Tail
and he
Lover,
says,
nice.
"You did a great job on the tail." So
Tail Lover, you are we do a whole thing where it's like, is Tail Lover gonna be okay with this?
Yeah.
All the time. You're like an inside name here at the
yes,
studio.
yes,
for sure.
So, appreciate the
Tail.
support.
Oh,
Legendary.
absolutely.
Yes.
Taylor
Cool.
Swift.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up the screenshot. This is Smite 1, Ben. So just
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about how we took this and
So hunched.
And this looks even cooler than the OG,
Yeah.
right? So like, yeah, he's just like, it's like his legs are so small, and like his, I don't want to keep bashing them. I feel bad already,
It looks so smooth, but that's
right? Like, I'm a short dude too. I get it, but like
Short king, you know?
Yeah. His headdress proportions, I feel like, were kind of too big for like his head, and like the arms, like it has like I guess like a toy kind of like proportional thing to it, right? So it's like the bracers are
yeah, but that's also the
really big. It just really, if you just like kind of block off the upper body from the lower body, like like they just look like they belong to two different.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say something. If Smite 1 was made in an engine with Smite 2,
Like it's like a child and like an adult, you know what I mean?
Right,
Kind of vibe.
Skip's leg day.
Yeah, for sure. He doesn't look as bad, maybe from like the side view, like in the front, like the two on the right, like they don't look as bad.
I thought that was the release date.
But like that back view is like his leg looks like they don't even exist, and like the front view is like, I don't know. Do we have a
I have an idea. I saw that they updated this. Hold up. Does that mean that I can go into arena or some shit?
Derpules kind of
Yeah.
like skin,
Yes.
for Hercules?
Yes.
And I was like, there's probably gonna be a derp line for this guy.
Right.
Oh, they should have Derpules, a derp version of Hercules into Smite 2.
That's
Right,
how I looked at it,
That'd be
Sure.
sick.
And then
He
this
was
is
so
Smite
back.
2.
Okay, so like you can see,
This is Smite 2's version of the big dog. Can you just zoom in? Okay. You can see that I can tell on the textures. It's not so smooth anymore. Obviously, even though we can see it is smooth because just a layer on bodies has more.
that like they don't look that different, right? They it's crazy because like he's so much bigger,
Right.
but we tried to really make sure that like the vibe of
everything just
him
looks
stayed true to kind of like
Hey,
the
kind of
OG. So like he
I'm talking over him. Everything looks like it's in proportion now. Like everything just fits on him, right? Right. It's a crocodile. It fits on. I don't know. Fucked up, but everything looks nice. It fits on. You know what I'm saying? That's my final statement.
he does have like still some smaller legs, but they're longer than they were before, right? So in this shot here, this is me trying to sell this.
Okay, but let me see. We are part of the servers are down for maintenance. Damn. So what was the update about then? They don't tell you. Oh,
Like back in the day, I like went and like this is no rigging support. I just like, well, I think I might have had Brett, one of our rigging guys, kind of help with that. But like there was like me just on a one man army. I'm gonna like show everyone we need to do this by like taking the old model and adjusting it and retrofitting it to an old rig, but then changing the rig. It's a lot of technical art stuff that I did there, but like it's basically like I wanted to sell everyone. So things here though aren't fully good. Like his eyes in the front view are like really narrow and they feel kind of weird. They look a lot better in like the final product.
Yes.
yeah, I hope
All
so.
right, and then we have a comparison.
He kind of looks like he. Oh, hold on. He kind of looks like he has an extra chromie. You know what I'm saying? He might be carrying. You know.
Model and adjusting it and retrofitting it to an old rig,
Beard arms, legal. What the fuck they call it?
but then changing the rig. It's a lot of technical art stuff that I did there.
Legal to bear arms, right? That's what Americans call it.
But like it's basically like The right one's like the appropriate size, and that's the thing that's crazy. It's like the two shots we looked at were in pose. They don't look that different, really, right? So like that was the goal. We wanted to make sure that like I know I want to be selfish with this guy, but I also don't want the players to be like, this feels wrong. This feels
Like this looks like a gator. Like this looks like a toy gator.
bad. Like gameplay wise, now this ability doesn't like read well because he's too tall, right?
Chat says this is 5'11" versus 6 foot.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, Sylvain
Good one, chat. Good one.
is looking good. I want to go back and just show off
Yeah, the actual in-game
yeah,
Smite 2
yeah.
kind of finished product.
with the lighting and everything. He just looks so good.
Yeah, he looks his little homie alligators they come into like they got a little bit of an upgrade too.
Nice.
Yep.
This is looking good. So I think we have one more before we get into like Q&A with Ben before we show off, and this is another exciting one.
Yes.
Another iconic character to the Smite universe.
Yes.
Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
We've got Thor.
let's go. Okay.
I better get my skin with him. Just saying.
So we did a lot of internal things.
Alright, he looks like he's going through a phase with that haircut. He should have had a longer beard. Thank God I didn't put his hair in a fucking man bun. Then people would be fucking outraged. How it looks fucking dope. I like the armor, very Smite lore accurate. Yeah.
Thor to
like
try
this.
to be like, how can we make him
They
like
kept the eyes. His nose. No, it's alright. It doesn't look like he has an actual chromie.
more? How do I say this? Like when he was first made, is like he had. I don't want to say we're trying to be like a superhero game, you know, but like we kind of, I'm sure we're inspired a little bit by like other interpretations of Thors that exist, right? Because we want to make sure it's like aligned with what people expect for a Thor. I think when we
Can
did,
you turn our cameras off?
Yes,
Sorry.
absolutely. Boom.
Thank you.
yeah, okay. I think with that though, like when we saw like what we did with Loki, and Loki went through a whole iteration where he was like a serpent dude in the way it was cool, right? But like he just seems different than the current Loki. So like when you look at Loki and Odin and Thor together,
That's a good marketing idea. They should sell, like when they first made Smite 2, like those player models that they made for the characters first, like he said with about Loki. Loki was a serpent at one point. They should make that a skin and sell it.
I think
I'd
as
buy it.
times progressed, like Loki and Odin have got those updates, and they look distinctly Norse, you know, and they have a certain look where those two vibe together. Whereas when I would see Thor next time, like he still felt Norse, but he felt more superhero like vibe versus like actual Norse guys. So like,
Dude, stop watching Marvel fucking shit, bro. The Thor in Marvel is not real. Even though we don't know that Thor was actually real, it's just mythology written by other people's stories. You know what I'm saying?
he always stood out to me, and I was like, how do we not have that happen? How do we make it so
He is real if you believe he's real. Boom.
whenever you play as like a team of these Norse guys and got Odin, Loki, and Thor on the same team, they all feel like they're from the same family tree, right? And the same vibe.
Yeah.
So
more Uller kind
yeah,
of feel as well.
yeah, exactly. So we did a whole bunch of iterations, and as we did those, it was like we lost who he was at the same time. So it's like, how do you kind of like thread the needle there, where you kind of have the old look, but then it's also modern. I don't know, modern is the word, but like, you know, updated to match the kind of Norse feel. So basically, we were like, we gave him his hair. His head looked weird.
Yeah.
His head.
He had a weird kind of like
like
bob going
yeah,
on.
Yeah, it was just interesting. He had like a chin strap kind of beard thing, and it's like, you know, we just want to give him a little bit more ruggedness and match more of that warrior kind of vibe that he is. So like we adjusted the hair a little bit. It's similar, but it's different. And then we were like, let's add some like fur. Really is what we kind of add to just kind of update things, like adding fur in the boots that are like, there was some fur before but it wasn't as prominent, but fur in the boots, fur on the collar, and then we added a strap and like a couple of metal bits just to add more presence there. And that also broke up the bodysuit vibe. When I keep saying superhero, I don't mean like comic superhero. I mean like he just had like a bodysuit basically with details. So like adding just some more like kind of interesting bits and bobs to him, while then retaining the rest of it. I think there was a couple of proportional updates, and when I say proportional, I don't mean like length of the arms change, just like the girth, like kind of like the width of the volumes themselves got updated. So there's a thing I do on all these characters. I go through, I just do this gut check to be like, this my spider sense tingle when I look at them. If something feels off, I can't maybe just describe what it is initially, but I'd be like, this just something's wrong with this, and then I try to diagnose what that is. He went through all the checks to make sure that he felt really good. So like to me, I'm oh, and his cape got an update too. That's
I saw someone in chat saying the cape looks perfect.
Yeah. We one of our artists, Greg Britt, worked on that. He's a badass. And we didn't initially have that in the concept. We just were like, it was like a normal kind of cape with like some of the Norse kind of what are those?
Runes.
Yeah, well, like the patterning thing.
Yeah,
right,
But yeah, Greg was like, let me try the pattern that goes into an actual Thor hammer, and I was like, oh shit, Mjolnir.
it was good.
That's
Great.
cool. So yeah, super good update, I think.
There's a lot of good touches on him too, right? Like the gauntlet for holding Mjolnir from lore, which is a good touch.
Yeah. And so the gauntlet, I think we were gonna.
See, this is a clever way to do, cause look how the hammer is shaped, square, and then it goes like into this diamond shape. So the cape probably normally was just like going like this, but then someone was clever enough. Hey, just put this in because it fits. You put the hammer like this, right? To outscale it to the corners fit the side, looks satisfying. Then you put, oh shit, and then you drag a line down, but you make it an arch like this that fits on the other end. And you do both on both sides. Look how clean, and also at the same time kind of satisfying. Cause look, they do the same thing here just to match it up here, right? And with this, yeah, this is a clever way to incorporate more detail into the cape. Good job. Wow, look at
Just
this.
scrap it because it's a
Wow.
like there's so many internal things
Wow.
you guys don't know about. Like there's like it's not good for rigging because the hand in Smite 1 is a different it is like the gauntlet, but it's proportionally much bigger. And then if things aren't symmetrical, that just makes it so you can't like copy and paste
You
things.
said the word symmetrical. If it's symmetrical, boom, boom.
It causes problems basically.
Oh, look.
From modelers and for rigging people. So with this one, we took the I think he got an update with like the wedding dress Thor at one point. That hand got a real because there's no gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
So like, it'd be really weird if you had a giant hand and then like a little hand on the other side. So we just kept the same proportional relationship as that. So for the internal team, it's gonna be way easier to like work on the hand, which you guys probably don't care about. But for us, this is like yes, huge win. We're all like celebrating when we get wins like this.
And then the other thing chat called out was the eyes, right? I think we're going for kind of the lightning eyes again.
Yeah.
And then in the final, this is just the model. Are there going to be like some FX lightning kind of things going on around the eye area?
I would say probably yes.
Okay.
We want him to feel imbued with power, right? So like he's he's like god of lightning and stuff like that. Like we don't want to just look like there's no lightning anywhere on him, right? So that was kind of a way to kind of do that. And I think the only thing with like the lightning like effects what to be careful of is just his hair is really close to his face. Yeah. So like you have like penetration and stuff like that, or like we just need to make sure it looks good. But I'm sure the effects team will kill it when they get to it.
Yeah. Looks so sick.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Thor and Smite too.
Yeah. He's
coming up in the first 50. I know, Ben, you've been doing so much work on all these guys.
Okay, so
been
we're not
Yeah,
getting
it's cool because this one I like this one a lot because it's
and then
like
talk
it's
more about
it's the goal. Like I said, it's my goal with these things is like I want to make changes, but I want you guys to know it. I just want you guys to be like, this looks dope.
Well, for a lot of people probably seen it. If you haven't seen it, here is I'll put the link down. Wait, I can't put the link down because YouTube hasn't fucking. I'll try to put the link down, but if not, well, here it is. It's on Smite, original page. You can
out.
check it out. But yeah, I just wanted to react to it because I just saw it, so I was like, I'm gonna make a video about this. Post it in and see if how it's gonna do. Alright. Later, alligator. I'm excited about the Smite change though, so we'll see. Happy.